Greetings and salutations for your Halloween enjoyment. Quoth the Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many quaint and curious volumes of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as some one gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Ah, discreetly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished tomorrow, vainly I had sorrow to borrow from my book's secrest of sorrow of lost Lenore, for this rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. Now that to still beat of my heart, I stood repeating, to some visitor entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Tis this, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer. "Sir," I said, "Madam, truly forgiveness I implore. But the fact it was I was napping, and so gently you came a-rapping, and so faintly you came a-tapping at my chamber door, that I scared that you sure I heard you. I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, I long stood wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal have ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token. And only word there was spoken was the whisper's word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and echoed, murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into my chamber turning, my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," I said, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then. Wait, treat there is, and this mystery explored. Let my heart be still a moment, and this the mysterious explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, and when with my flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least abstain made he, not a minute stopped or stay he, but within main of lord or lady, perched upon my chamber door, perched upon my bust of palace, just above my chamber door, perched, and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, begilding my sad face, fancied unto smiling, but the grave and stern decor of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art thou sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore? Tell me why thy lordly name is thy night Plutonian shore." Quoth the Raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this unwilling fowl to hear discreetly and so plainly, though it is answered leerly meaning, little reverence bore. For we cannot help agree that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing such bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven sitting lonely on this palace bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further he uttered, not a fear then he fluttered, till I sacredly more than mutter. Only friends have flown before, only the marrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by the reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, I said I. What it uttered is its only stock and shore, caught from some unhappy master whom unmercifully disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his song one burden bore, till the dirge of his hope and melancholy burden bore of nevermore. But the raven, still beguiling my sad face upon the into smiling, straightly I wheeled a cushion into the seat in front of the bird, and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungately, ghastly gaunt of ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no suitable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burden into my bosom core. This is more I sat divine, with my head at ease reclining, one cushion velvet lining that the lamp lit goating, but whose violet lining with the lamp light gloating she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew dense, perfume of unseen censer, swung by saffrons whose footfalls tinkered on the tufted floor. Wretched, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, these angels has sent thee respect thy nephew from the memories of Lenore. Quaff, kind nephew, of forgotten this loss I know, Lenore? Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempered sent, or whether tempered tossed thee ashore, desolate, yet here undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home of horror haunted, tell me truly, I implored, is there balm or Galahad? Tell me, I implored. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet, if the bird or devil, by heaven or the bends above, by that God we both adore, tell this soul and sorrow laden, if with distance adennin, it shall clasp a saintly maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, who the angels named Lenore? Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word or sign in parting bird or fiend, I shriek upstanding, get thee back into the tempest of the night's plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that soul has spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quiet the bust above my door. Take thee beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never fulfilling, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. His eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming. The lamp lent, him steaming vows of shadow on the floor, and my soul from out of the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. I hope you enjoyed this Halloween reading of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. To all of my friends,